Again, this is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Studio Gallery in the backyard, trying not to slip in a slippery puddle on my rubber mats because it has been raining all day, and even though the sun is out now and phew, it's hot, wow, is it humid. I have in front of us a 12 by 24 inch canvas, and I'm going to paint. And I have glasses on my head, and I think I'll put them on my face. And I want to do this swipe in a completely, well, I can't say completely different way because it's never completely different, is it? But I do want to try a few new things, like not worrying about flattening anything out. I'm putting a whole bunch of colors that I like in big puddles in the center. That's probably more gold than I can handle there. But I like the reactions between, really? Well, it doesn't actually matter much at this point, except for that. I don't like stuff in my painting. I tried to pick colors and shake colors over to my side. I'm going to try and make sort of equal depth puddles because I'm going to tip it all. Well, I say all, but I can only tip that far, so I can't do much further right now unless I'm going to tip on the other end, and I probably will do that, the short end. I realize I cut myself off half the time. Half sentences are hard to understand, I get it, I'm sorry. So that's a purple and a blue, and I want some white because white is a great catalyst, but I don't want regular white, so I'm going to use the Anita's metallic white. I figure if I stay to the center before I tip this, then maybe I have a chance to not overdose the amount of paint that I'm going to use. We'll see if that's a theory that is correct or not. So I'm going to try and find other things I love. I want some red in there. I want some yellow in there too. I want it all. There's no doubt about it. I just want it all. But I kind of figure if I put it in here, well, I'm not sure those go together, in the center, that I can get away with this. And I want to get away with this. I'm going to do something as different as I can manage outside my wheelhouse. And the rag I use is going to be cotton, and it's going to be a piece of t-shirt material, but it's not going to be the width of the canvas. I'm going to use my basting brush. I still haven't found that red. There we go. And the magenta will make me happy too. And there's plenty of paint there. What else? I have another color I want to use, and I think it is this color. And anytime you force feed paint color into other paint colors with pouring medium in them, you're going to start to disturb the paint and probably help promote cells. I don't have any black in there, and I think I could have. She picks up the blue. I kind of like the blue a lot. I don't know if it's going to show or not in the end. Oops, that was one stroke, one extra stripe too many. So we're going to try this now. I think I might have to move a couple things out of the way. Let's find my super long edge catcher. Is that it? No, that's not it. Let's move. Yes? Move it out of the way. Okay, 3 seconds. I need another few inches of room that I do not have yet. There we go. All right, so here goes nothing. Why don't we go that way first and let all that paint go down over the side. Yeah, maybe back again so I have some more paint there. Whoops. Alright, so I let that paint go down over the side and then I squeezed it back on. I can scrape that off with my edge catcher if I want to. But right now I think what I want to do before it gets any closer to where it shouldn't be is put it right up against that side and use it to cover the parts I haven't covered yet. It doesn't matter if they're not the same colors. It does matter that I made them too long. But right now, nothing is more important than that I find my OXO omelet turning spatula and remove as much of that color as I care to add to the end of this piece and use what's on my spatula to cover other miscellaneous areas. I think I maybe got away with what I was talking about doing, but I'm not certain yet. And I know I can tip that down, but I'm not sure how much paint I'm going to get on the sides. I've got some lac over here, but I think I can fix it just by tapping. It's a 2-inch side gallery wrapped canvas. That's the difference in this. And I kind of want to use some white right there, but I have paint here. And if I did tip it down, it would cover that end. And I think I'm just going to give myself permission to steal a little paint. I'm sure you can't see me from where you're at, but I want to put that color blue. Where is that color blue? Did I move it? Yes, I did. I want to make sure that's heavy enough to cover everywhere. So now my choices are putting a swipe color in place. I meant to do this from either end, but I think that's a project for another time. Let's see what I want to start with. I really like the purple, and I really think that if I give myself a little bit of that to go over the edge and move that stripe down. I'm going to use my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatula just to add that to this. Now I have to choose a swipe color, and black works out really well most of the time, but I've got this big bottle of gold calling me. It doesn't matter yet. Right now I want to use my basting brush before I swipe. So where the swipes don't go, I have pattern. And it's going to look neat, and you're going to, oops, that was a mistake. Too much paint on my basting brush. So just drag the tips, not the whole basting brush. It's a lesson we all needed to know about, especially me right now. Okay, so my plan is that using a swipe cloth will still pop cells, and I'm going to have to use a swipe color in order to do that. I'm really tempted by the white, like totally tempted by the white, or I could just leave it alone. It's pretty cool. I want silly things like orange, but I'm going to put some orange in there anyway, because I can. The name of my book, underneath the video, it's advertised on the Amazon link in blue under Show More, when you open Show More. So, what color? I think the black. I think the black, after all. Hopefully you can see most of that, and I'm not sure you can, but I'm going to put this really close to the edge, so some of it decides to drip down over, and just encourage that to go close. And then I can also always use either my finger or one of my little spatulas to let that get covered. And I'm going to have to do the sides over here also. I need this to be a fairly deep puddle, because it's going to have to pull the length of this thing. And it doesn't matter what else is in there right now. It just matters that this is covered. And I can wipe my finger off on the side where I need the paint. And yeah, I'm not using my spatula, but that's okay. I don't want any gaps. And no, you're right, I didn't pull that bottom, so let's just pretend I did, huh? With the spatula. I don't have nearly enough gold in there. I'm going to throw that in the bucket. Here's my swipe rag. It is a nasty a nasty damp cloth, and I'm going to fold it down so I have a little handle. Well, it would be nice if that were a little more even. I'm going to dip my swipe rag in. I think I'm going to use the smooth side as opposed to the seam side where the stitching shows. And I'm going to start at the very beginning. And my end is covered, and I'm going to use whatever colors are on that cloth on the sides. I'm going to decide if I want to do anything else in those patches, but I don't think I do. I think this is what it is. So I am going to grab a bamboo skewer. Hopefully. I'd like to have some spirals, but I'm not sure where to put them right now because it seems like we got plenty of focus. I'm going to cover that with my finger, and everything else is covered. I'm just going to let some cells pop. Wait a minute, I lied. I'm going to grab another basting brush or my Threek because I want that to go the different direction. A little more randomly than it is. I'm just learning how to do this. I think that's randomly enough. The question for me is, do I want something else in here? And the answer is definitely yes. I want some red down there. And I don't think there should be any problem making it look like it belongs there. If I'm clever. Clean off my little experiment that wasn't working anyway. Alright, so let's torch, and not only torch. I get to add whatever colors I want. And I'm going to clean off my fork. I suppose if I wanted gold, I could have gold in there too. But seeming as this is the first time I've tried exactly this method in this pattern, it's still pretty cool. So let's take the torch and attempt to release any bubbles that might be caught in the paint, and maybe encourage a few cells to pop. And I still haven't decided how much I like that. I think I would prefer there was an odd number of them. But you're always going to have, if you've got an odd number of those, you're going to have an even number of something. It's not beyond me to tip this all down, but I'm not sure I'll like it better. I kind of want to see what it starts to do though. Let's put an edge catcher underneath the end of that, so if I have paint to catch, I can. I'm not super thrilled with how that's going, but I'm not minding a lot of things about it. I would like some more paint over there, to be honest with you. Right there. Because I can see canvas. Well, let's make sure it's clean, and I can see edges. And I kind of want to swipe in there too. Because I wasn't as thrilled as I was expecting to be. So let's just play with my results and hope I don't screw it up too badly. Usually I'm lucky. There's a lot more paint there than I was expecting, so that the trick is maybe to go ahead next time, next experiment, and go ahead and paint a layer on first. I've got a whole bunch of paint down on my edges, and I'm just going to use my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatula to let some of that paint flow right over the sides and cover and make it look like it was always meant to be there. And like I said, this is an experiment, so I can do what I want, and I'm not terribly unhappy about that. I would like to let it go back down the other way, but since there's an uneven quantity of paint different places, actually I kind of don't mind that. It's never going to be a uniform thing. Not that I really need uniform, because that's not part of this gig, but what do I want to do? I kind of want to see what happens when I outline some of that. I kind of want to spiral in there, but I don't think it would look good. There we go. I did kind of like those flames before I did that, so let's see if I can bring them back again. I throw a few spirals in there just because we're in that mode. Playtime. Not super excessively thrilled with that, but let me get some paint off my hands and have a look some more. I've got a pretty good quantity of the colors that I need on the edges of the canvas, except for I have them on the other side, strangely enough. So I'm just going to use them and tap on my sides while I still have thick paint, and it will usually reform in something I want. Because there's a lot of it, and yes, I'm using my fingers. Try not to get any on the surface, but just tapping the large copious. Excessive? Tapping the paint off. I think that if I have to change something, and I might want to, that it would be that white up there. And what do I want there instead? Something that is not laden with Floetrol, but it's still a good color. It just doesn't want to have Floetrol in it. Yeah, and that'll go down over the side pretty nicely. Do I want any other cool colors? I might. Because this is my one opportunity to do that if I'm going to do it. Unless I want to wait until it's dry. And I kind of like what's happening. I feel a little bad about the amount of paint I used, but I'm not done playing yet, I guess. I'm going for it. Yes, that makes things a little more cohesive for me. Just dragging my skewer through, blending things to make them look similar, and maybe even drip down over the edge and make them look like they were always meant to be there. Yeah, that's kind of cool now. I like it better. Makes me want to put some orange over here, but I don't think that that's probably a really good idea. But I can complete that. Once I see what I've got, I see colors and I'm like, oh, I could add that. I could add that. But I want to tell you guys, thank you for all the compliments, and thank you for the contributions that have kept me painting so far. And if you want to be in this month's contest and you make a contribution, I will send you a receipt of that. If you want to be of assistance to me and you can't contribute to help keep the studio rolling, you are a huge help by watching more of the videos and giving me a thumbs up, because that tells the YouTube algorithm where it wants to, that it wants to give me better placement. I love that turquoise so much. I just want more of it. More. I want to break that up too. Looks like I forgot to set my timer, and we're about to be gone for sure. I'm sure my timer is set, I just didn't start it. Anyway, this is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard going, that was an interesting experiment. I'm not sure it was as successful as I was hoping, but it's not a failure either, because I really actually like what I've got in a lot of ways. It'll be different tomorrow when the metallics show up. So check out my Pinterest and Instagram